Alright, that's Rafa. Ginger Rafa.
And he did track back to score an own goal.
This is true.
So we're recording and we're started. Hi everyone.
Good evening.
Welcome to the Christmas edition of the Alva Smiling Faces podcast. We are joined by Mr. Taylor Payne.
Aye.
What was going on there?
I was just looking at me.
He was just rubbing his tits at us. And I enjoyed it.
I bet you you've had that a few times in your life, mate.
I have. Yes.
You know, like when you're singing that, the people just rub their tits.
Normally men, but yeah. yeah, they do.
Or I rubbed me on when I was singing.
Oh,
You got any bras on your neck yet? No, not like that. The guitar neck.
I want to get
guitar,
stuck when he's putting them on.
No, I think you're confusing me with Tom Jones. That doesn't happen to me. I get little old women coming up to us in the Brighams offering us like corned beef sandwiches and that.
That's alright.
Yeah,
actually
you
do
look
the Brigham?
fabulous, you son. Do what? No.
Do you actually play at Brigham's?
Nah, long time ago I did. Long time ago.
It's nice and cheap in Brigham's, isn't it? You get like a pint for like 20 pence.
I used to work in there behind the bar.
Like they give you 20 pence of a pint, didn't they?
I used to work in there behind the bar, and I was on the
What
day
were the podcast
that
here for then?
the day it went up from £1 a pint to £1.20. It was like the fucking
Hell on,
in there.
hell on.
I'm telling you. It was like the Battle of the Somme.
Just saloon doors swing open.
We were in the trenches behind the bar, and all these old blokes are coming in. You're fucking what you done? Right, anyway.
It's a type of social club where you're not allowed to sit in anyone's seat. You've got to like stand.
Aye.
You're not allowed to sit down because every seat is taken by someone.
You can only
He's been dead 20 years, but it's his seat.
you can only open or close a window if you're a member of the committee. That's completely true.
Shut up.
Yeah. I used to work at the Armstrong Hall. I used to play there as well. My dad used to go there every single Saturday night for like 30 years, and we used to go, and I used to be a barman there, Glasgow. I used to be on the stage with the band and that, and it was like that where people would not sit in certain areas, the windows, you weren't allowed to prop the door open if you weren't a committee member.
Dancing in the first half.
You dancing in the first half, I think that. And if you did, it was hell on, wasn't it? They were like,
outside and kneecap you.
watching dancing, like, oh, he's right, no, he's spot on, he really is, he's spot on.
You weren't allowed to open a window.
You open the window, prop the door open. You couldn't prop the door open, like if it was hot, like wedge it, you had to be a committee member or...
Mike fucking Ashley would
contact
love that, wouldn't he? Not
contact
opening
chair,
windows.
Great crack, man.
No, he's right though.
So,
But anyway, that's social clubs for you. So next question.
what about Gateshead ones? We'll ask Mark when he comes. Hi, Mark's not here. Mark's just sent me a text saying, oh shit, just realised the time.
He's in a social club in Gateshead.
He's here in spirit though, isn't he?
I might come as like the ghost of Christmas
He's
past or
gonna,
something.
he's going to see how many of these he can fit in his mouth when he gets.
You fit the fucking tummy. Well, you probably haven't seen this, Taylor, but remember when we were getting linked with the owner of McVitie's that we're going to buy the club? It was just like a passing little comment that was made.
Yeah.
We decided that night, because the news broke in the morning that we're going to record the podcast, so I thought, right, I'll get some Jaffa cakes and I'll see how many Jaffa cakes Mark can fit in his mouth.
It's good.
Right? So I got like a couple of family-sized Jaffa cake things. I thought, one packet, he'll only manage one packet. Guess how many he fit in his mouth?
Oh, well then.
Have a guess. Like full Jaffa cakes.
10.
What was he up to? 17. 19 Jaffa cakes in his mouth.
He'll
Come on,
He'll
like
go
a
far,
liver.
that lad, like. He'll go far.
Oh mate, I'll show you the video later.
It was
the
unbelievable.
ball that comes out of his mouth is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
It looks like someone's liver when it comes out. It's just like, it's unbelievable.
Might be in his own.
My entire life has been, leading up to this moment, has been seeing how many Jaffa cakes I can fit in my mouth.
We'll try it.
That's just my
I think
entire
it's
life.
sometimes in the back.
It's just all I've done for 35 years.
When you brought some crackers, we'll see how many crackers you can fit in your gob.
Yep.
What are you looking for?
Oh, them.
No,
them kind of
they're
crackers.
Treeslets.
Oh,
I brought
did you
those.
bring them?
I brought them,
Where?
like actual crackers,
Christmas
but I
night?
also brought other crackers.
How prepared
And-
is he, man? What a legend.
And these.
Your antlers.
Oh, what a legend. What a legend.
Give you a little air shake. There you go.
I love him. I love
Sorted.
him.
I wasn't going to buy these because they were too dear.
Right, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, I guess we should get moving on here quickly. Like.
Shall we talk about some football?
If we have to.
See, the last game that we covered was the
one before Everton.
which was Chelsea?
A defeat.
Is it Chelsea? This is how
If we can talk about the
research
Everton
that we
game, that'd be
do.
good because I was there.
I will talk about the Everton game because I think the Everton game was the next one that we were supposed to talk about, wasn't it?
So I think we had 2 home games back to back, didn't we? Did we not have 2 home games back to back quickly? Am I wrong, all right?
Yes, we did.
I thought we played the weekend, got humped, and then we had like a very quick game, and we had that game
Yes,
Wednesday.
you're right, but I can't remember who that team was.
What's
Beat
that?
Leicester.
Leicester. That's it, Leicester.
There
Yes.
you can.
Keep
Leicester.
it like
And
Leicester.
then we had three days to put it right, it felt like, and then we had Everton.
So,
Everton was the Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
and it was bastard freezing.
It was very cool, yeah.
Ah, it was average. Had me top off as usual.
Had the NUFC belly out.
Yes, I did.
Punched 2 horses on the way to the ground.
3 actually.
Too thick.
Aye.
that what it was?
Yeah.
No, right. Aye, Everton.
Do you know what? I've said this to you before. I don't think we did an awful lot wrong against Everton. I thought we played all right, and for me, I thought in the first half we definitely looked like the better team, and we could have scored. There was 2 chances. Richie hit the bar / post, nearly took the goal down, and then Marino hit that shot from about 30 yards, which just kind of moved away at the last second. But I was literally right in line with it behind him when he hit it, and when it left his left foot, it looked to me like it was about that far inside the post, and the keeper was getting nowhere near it. And then just at the last second, it kind of shaped away, and it hit the post. And we all thought it was going to go in on the other side of the net, and it just trickled across the line.
Like when it hit that post, I thought this is going to be a sweet goal, like in off the post, absolutely unbelievable. And the curl that he put on was sensational. Pickford, he was just watching that. Like
my seat was on the other end of the ground, and I heard the thwack of it hitting the post from that far away. You know, he must have struck with some force. Like it was
I mean, he had no, like, he was standing ball, do you know what I mean? He just had no, he looked around
no
for a bit, didn't he?
Down
He was like,
nothing.
do you know what it is? I've got nothing on. Let's just have a hit, like, and Pickford's a good keeper, in fairness to him, and he was full stretch and he couldn't get anywhere near it.
Well, twice he was beat with a Richie one, that's pretty good. Richie hit about 100 mile an hour, like, bloody hell.
I thought it was interesting that he played Richie on the left-hand side to start with, and I was actually quite happy he did that. He started Richie on the left, and he put a few dangerous balls over early on, then he had that shot that hit the bar, and I thought, hey, God, it's a bit better from Richie, but then unfortunately he swapped him back to the right hand side and we just lost him.
Who was playing on the opposite wing? Was it Atsu? Did Atsu start that game?
He had Atsu on the right hand side and Richie on the left, and I was quite happy with that. I thought, happy days, because obviously we all know, I want to say criticising, but we've been a bit disappointed in Richie recently, and I think maybe he switch wings. I always think managers, or certainly Rafa, should do that more often. You know, if it's not working for them for 20 minutes on one side, change them over.
You see a lot of time the manager doesn't even swap them out. You see players a lot of the time just dealing themselves, don't you?
It's often something that we'll discuss in training, though, isn't it? Like
if you're not getting any
joy against your fullback, just give them the nod and have 10 minutes, go on the other lad. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But the lad who was playing on the right hand side for Everton, the right fullback, had an absolute shocker in the first half. He was garbage.
Oh, he was.
Every time he got the ball, he was shanking it in.
Shiting himself, wasn't he?
He was,
And Richie was putting the pressure on him. Now, I don't know whether Rafa put him on the left and said to him, go and get at this kid because he's only young.
Maybe right.
It might be that, he hasn't got much experience. If you can't put the shits up for 20 minutes, he might make a mistake.
Yeah.
And he kept shanking the ball out. Richie got the better of him a couple of times. Even Mankiw put the ball through his legs at one point.
He did make him
just on the half.
That was the best 40 seconds he's ever had, Mankiw, wasn't it?
Well,
bless him.
I bet he's had better 40 seconds, mate.
Well, in bed, I mean, like, in regards to, as a fan, in that crowd, in that atmosphere, that was the best 40 seconds he's ever had.
I think,
honestly,
I think the thing with him is he's obviously limited. He's obviously a limited player. I think. Is
that being polite for calling him shite?
Well, I'm trying to be diplomatic. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to see the good in everybody, Kris. All right. But I think the thing with Mankiw is we didn't expect anything of him when he came.
Yeah.
So when he came and he had a few good games, we were like, oh, actually, maybe there is a player in there somewhere and he can do a job. I think a lot of them are suffering from crisis of confidence at the minute, and I don't know what is going to get them out of that funk that they seem to be in at the minute. Do you know what I mean? I think Jamal Lascelles coming back has helped a little bit,
massively,
with the organisation of that back four. And everyone seems to know their job and understand the line and all that again, whereas they didn't before. And also having confidence in your goalkeeper, and that's a big thing, isn't it? So,
which we're not going to have.
Certainly we don't. But that's the thing. The last 2 games we've had, last 3 games have been chop and change goalkeeper, hasn't it? So.
Yeah, well, he's obviously
still at the point where we don't know who our best goalkeeper is.
He thought Darlow was.
Well, I think I do.
Rafa thought Darlow was. That's why he brought Darlow in. And I thought he was very soft against Leicester with Mahrez's goal. I thought he dove too early and he limp-wristed and it went in. And then that one against Everton was shambolic. Absolute shambles.
From what I've watched of the two of them, I think Elliott is an all-rounder better goalkeeper. I think he's kicking and his distribution is still shite.
That's shocking.
If he can keep the ball out the net, which he seems to be able to do, sometimes he gets in his position is not the best. But I do think he's probably the better goalkeeper. I think the reason for that is because he's probably a bit more experienced.
Yeah.
And he knows, the ball's gone there, I need to be here. Whereas Darlow, still very fresh, very young.
I don't know, how old is he? I don't know.
He's 23, isn't he?
I've got no idea.
But I was saying this to you before, when you've never played at that top level in your career, because he's only ever played for Nottingham Forest until he came to us. It's different. Do you know what I mean? It's a different ball game.
It might be, but he only had one thing to do on that Everton game. Two. He did a great save off Williams.
Great save, towards Gallagher. He did a great save.
I don't care what level he's playing at. I'm honestly expecting him to keep hold of that ball.
Correct, and I think, as you know, all people will make mistakes in their jobs. I think,
and the keepers have it.
Footballers, and if they make mistakes, fucked. Yeah, if a left back lets ball get under his foot, it comes out for a throw in.
Yeah.
If a keeper lets ball get under his foot,
Wayne Rooney said it.
to the net, basically. I do agree. Everyone will make a mistake at some point. I think the problem we've got is now they're making them far too often, and it's running through the team like rot.
That's what you mean. It's not just one player making a mistake. It's every time a defender makes a mistake or the keeper makes a mistake, the ball's in the back of the net, and it's been recurring for the last 4 or 5 weeks now. And it's a rot in the team which needs to stop like immediately, really.
But as you said, it's tough, innit? I mean,
when confidence is low,
and he's trying to change the system. He's trying to change personnel. It still hasn't changed the confidence or the results, so it's just tough. It is hard. Like,
you can work on that in the training ground as much as you want, but you have to blue in the face. You can't put that into a match situation.
You can't mirror mistakes, can you?
Do you know what I mean? You can coach and train as much as you want. The pressure that you feel when you're on the pitch in that 90 minutes in front of all those people can cause you to do weird things. You can fuck up. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, hello, mate.
Jeez.
Bloody hell! Watch that cable.
He's been on a diet.
It's nice you enjoying it, mate.
Mr. C has arrived, ladies and gentlemen.
You've been busy. What have you been doing?
What's this?
This is a new setup.
Is this a Christmas buffet table?
Easter bunnies here.
Are you making a noise at work?
Am I making a noise? It's me,
Pump.
Oh, hi. Hello, children.
That's what
Santa says, isn't it?
That's right. Santa. Something's happening to Santa. I can't really. Do you know the best thing? The people are just going to be listening to it.
That's why it's always fun.
Brilliant. Good
Have you met Taylor before?
In person, he's got no clue who I am.
Taylor, this is
Hello.
Santa.
Hello, Santa.
Yes, of course. I've met everybody in the world.
You're only quite busy this time. I'm surprised you're here.
You're never drinking that pint with that beard, mate.
There it is.
Brilliant.
We said before, and
Need a straw.
we're being quite serious, ain't we? You acting?
I've lost all my well, you reminds us of Rooney, so let's go on to Rooney.
Nice of you to wait for us to turn up.
Well, how are you?
I said you should have.
Well, I think your entrance is just made up for it, mate, to be fair. Holy shit, man, honestly.
Have you got some kind of...
What is that noise?
It's a fan thing on the side there, so...
Oh, and it just pumps air in?
It sucks air in there and obviously it blows you up.
I don't think you needed any more blew up, mate.
I'm not only this fat.
Oh, can you even hear him?
I've got one of them and all, that's what that is. I've got one of them pumps.
I'll turn it off. Yeah, I'll go down a bit.
Wait, what that doesn't go down at all.
It will. It'll just take a little while.
Do you know what you sound like? You sound like you're fat.
Funny enough,
that's what Bessie said when Bessie was on the other week. When we done the Taylor Bestie one of the first comments we got on the first episode was, Bestie sounds like he's fat.
He does. It's the bass resonance that comes with the larger bone structure, do you know what I mean?
Voice.
Yes, like Brian Blessed. That's what he's like.
Sounds fat, aye?
He's a big lad.
Right, what were we talking about? Rooney.
I was going to say...
Keepers, we're talking about keepers.
I was going to say, do you think Elliot deserved to be dropped in the first place? Because he obviously dropped him for Darlow. What did Elliot do so badly to say, actually, I'm going to pin my hat on Darlow?
Because you could even go back before that and say, did Darlow deserve to be...
Elliot was injured, wasn't he?
Aye.
That's why Darlow
there was too many howlers.
Just came back in for Darlow, didn't he?
There was too many howlers in the championship for me for Darlow.
Oh well,
we were there, and Dummett headed the back and he wasn't there, and oh my word, there was a few that he did. But then again, you look at the Forest 2 penalty saves and that saves that he done. I'm not saying
but as we said time and time again, he was getting himself into positions to make those saves because of mistakes.
Yes, that's very true. I just thought Elliot, other than that, there was one Man United goal that always stick in my head when I think it dropped in his 6-yard area and he's still on his line. It was Smalling's header, I think. I made it 2-1. How he cannot be out there meeting that ball? That was the only time I've probably criticised him, out of any time. And someone tweeted him saying, your distribution's crap. And he quoted that tweet and he says, well, I have had my knee renewed. I've got a brand new knee, so I do apologise if my kicking's not great.
Who's that, Elliot?
So maybe that's why. He's got a terminator knee. He's literally got a new knee. So maybe that's why his distribution's crap.
Stop tagging players in shit.
He
If you're going to be
did
dickhead.
once reply to me at Christmas saying that his favourite film was Love Actually. So as far as I'm concerned,
drop him.
He's dead to me.
Drop him.
Right. Dollar was in from now on.
Drop him. Can we get Krill back yet? Oh, I've sold him. Shit.
No, but I'm interested to see what your thoughts are anyway, because I just saying I don't think Elliott should have been dropped anyway.
Do you think that maybe it would have been a wiser idea to send Darlow out on loan and keep Krill?
Well,
no, I think he's burnt bridges.
Do you know what? This is something that was pointed out to me the other day by someone. All of the players who've gone, we've got no Dutch players left in the team. There isn't any.
Oh yeah,
right?
true.
Krul, Wijnaldum, Anita, De Jong, whoever else was there, I can't remember. But they've all gone. And I've got a feeling that it's something that Rafa's not too keen on.
Dutch.
For some reason, it's Dutch players.
You saying Rafa's racist to Dutch? Prejudiced to Dutch?
No, I think
we've had this discussion before, haven't we?
I think there's a certain attitude with Dutch players sometimes that comes across where, you know, they're very technical minded, but maybe they're not the hardest workers.
Because they're out stoned, isn't it?
I think that's it. Yeah, all off their peaks. I think maybe Rafa needs players who are going to just listen and do, rather than question or try and be different.
That's a good observation.
That's a good point.
I don't know. I'm just saying, but it seems weird to me that we had 5, 6 Dutch players, and now we don't have any.
I didn't even know.
But he loved
that.
Anita, though, didn't he?
The Dutch took over the French,
because he
didn't
done
they?
what we was told.
He grafted Anita.
That was the only. Let's be honest. If anyone else
He
had
broke
done
the
that,
mould, didn't he?
He wouldn't have played, would he? Do you know what I mean?
The thing is with Rafa,
Never thought I'd say that.
he always looks for players that fit into how he wants to play. He won't change his system to suit the players that we've got or the way that others think he should play. It's his formation, it's his way of playing, and if you don't fit into it and you don't toe the line, you don't get into the team. As we've seen with a few players.
No, I wish he was Dutch.
But that's why
Diame
was some lineage back and see if he's got a bit of Dutch in him and then let it go.
Exactly.
I bet he has. Shall I get him on? What's that programme called?
That DNA
one where the guy back on like the final tree. Crime watch. Crime watch is
where
right.
did you find out the history of that?
Aye, what's it called?
Know, you mean, with all the celebrities.
Aye, something like that.
Aye,
yeah.
But he hasn't even played Krul for Brighton, has he?
I think
the thing is,
he's not good enough.
Krul he's knocking on in. Oh, I've just knocked me on switch there. He's knocking on in age, and you know Krul.
But he's a keeper.
How old is he?
But he's. If you just think the last few years, he's had some bad injuries. You know, and it does take it out from you.
When he went on loan in the Championship season in Rafa, I knew he's never going to play again. He was never going to miss the entire Championship season and just come back and play. It was never going to happen. Never.
But the thing is he went over there, he went to Ajax, didn't he? And he never really got a look in there.
Did he not go somewhere else?
Did
he not win a cup with them?
He
get the final.
Yeah,
I think he played the majority of the games when he went there for the second half of the season.
I think with Krul, you know, a lot of people called him Chris Packet Hands and all this sort of stuff, you know what I mean? He was kind of weak-wristed and that. But I think the problem with Krul was he never had any real competition at Newcastle for so long. When Steve Harper was there, maybe he was getting the odd game now and again. Krul was so comfortable in that position that he never really progressed. He developed. He just kind of stayed still. He had so much promise when he was a kid and so much potential that maybe it went to his head.
You're right though, he never had to really up his game, did he?
Well, of course he didn't. He never had. But I think that was the case with a lot of those players around about the same time, sort of 2010, 11. When Pardew kind of took over, you had a lot of those players in the team who didn't have any competition for that place.
Yeah.
We had such a threadbare squad that they weren't pushing themselves, they weren't getting better, and it just meant that the performances were really average. You know what I mean? But
so right now, if you had to choose a goalkeeper, like I got that number 1 shirt, who would it be? We'll start with you, Mark. In between Elliott and Darlow. In fact, even Hayem would have been in there.
You said that,
I
was going to say like Deka or somebody, you know what I mean? But now that you've
the thing is like I probably think that Woodman is probably the best keeper there, but I think throwing him in at this stage of his career when
Suicide.
Like Jack Ennis, was that ruined him?
It just that's the thing.
You could scupper
it could just set him back. So out of them two, Elliott all day for me.
Taylor?
Elliott for me as well.
100% Elliott.
Aye, on the same.
100%.
We're going to get so much shit for saying that.
No, that's
that.
There'll be someone gone.
I don't think there's much between them, mate.
I don't know.
I don't think there's much between them, but I think on you know, on average, I think Elliott's
as a whole
a better goalkeeper.
We sat here nigh on every podcast and picked a fault with Darlow's performances all of last season. There's not a game where we didn't have something to say about it. Yes, he pulled off a lot of good saves.
What about the Forest game?
As we've said, but
I think that's a one-off. The 2 penalty saves.
No, did we not say that he made mistakes for the goals as well?
Probably.
I can't honestly remember them.
No,
but
we'll probably... Football's funny, it's a bit fickle in a way. We've probably sat here and talked about Darlow midway through the season about, he's my number one and he deserves to have it. Of course we probably have. I've probably said it. I'm just basing on what I see, and I see Elliott should be number one. Period. Darlow has made mistakes upon mistakes. His kicking's as bad as anybody's. Honestly, his kicking's horrific.
I think with Darlow,
he's got times against everything. He knocked it straight out of play like
honestly,
we've talked about it for a few different players, but again, I think Darlow is again one of them where he needs to have the confidence of performance and be, I don't know, feel a bit secure with what's in front of him, because he's not a great shouter or organiser.
Let's be fair to him. Darlow hasn't had Lascelles playing in front of him.
Well,
like
he did against Everton.
The last couple of weeks, haven't we?
He did against Everton, and Lascelles was blasting him because, yet again, Darlow loves kicking it long, and loads of times Lascelles was coming short, and Darlow would go, no, just go up, and he would belt it, and Lascelles was going, yeah, man, I'm asking for it. Yeah. So, because a lot of the times it annoys me when we go long so often. I'd rather we try and build it up at the back. I always think we'll play better stuff when we keep the possession a little bit, but Darlow for me just wants to ping it, and he can't even do that very well.
That's the only thing with me with Elliott is he's very slow in his distribution.
He is, but Darlow was getting loads of grief from the Gallagher against Everton because he was having the ball for longer than 1 second, and they were like, get rid of it. He's like, I haven't even picked the ball up yet, man. Like, there's a chance, you know.
I noticed this what you were saying about keeping possession and knocking the ball around. When it was 0-0 against Everton, we were doing it, and we knocked the ball forward, we got it up the wing, there was no way to get through, it went back, and it happened about 3 or 4 times, and you could feel it in the ground. Yeah. You could feel people starting to get pissy, starting to get annoyed, and I was thinking, fucking settle down, man. Do you know what I mean? We've got the ball, and then as soon as the crowd starts to get on edge, it translates on the pitch straight away. And you'd see the little touches become really wobbly, and people start getting a bit jerky and stuff like that, and then the ball gets to Yedlin, and he miscontrols it, goes out for a throw in and return possession over. It's not like, now we're not Barcelona, do you know what I mean? Yeah. We're not going to string 54 passes together and put it in the net. But if you're getting on your team's back for keeping the ball,
it's a joke.
I don't understand.
And if you've got the ball, that team can't score.
It's the same with any slightly stray pass or poor touch or any. I mean, every time Diame touched the ball, there was a sigh in the crowd.
He was cheered off,
and it's like absolutely disgusting.
Why do you do that?
Absolutely disgusting.
Right after that game, I said something else saying that was shocking by the fans. Like the way Diame was like. It was a sarcastic applause, wasn't it? They did the same before that when after the goal. Yes,
where they scored and then he saved one.
He saved one, aye.
And again, there was a sarcastic cheer because he actually saved.
Well, I tweeted out on the night saying, like, Slater.
We've got absolute pricks sitting in that ground. It's as simple as that.
There was a guy who never
huge
sat next
proportion
to me
that are absolute wankers.
Where I sit, where I over there every week, obviously, there was a guy who'd never, ever sat there before, and he came, and I have never heard, and it took me to the point, I've never done this before, when I turned around and went, can you not just support them for at least 5 minutes?
Yeah.
For the first time I ever did that. And he was actually alright after that, no offence. He was quite sort of apologetic in his demeanour, and he was like trying to be confident, but honestly he was just raping them. I shouldn't even say, I'm not sure that's part of the thing. But he was raping them.
The Pardew thing, what rape?
He did say that though, didn't he? He did say that, didn't he? He got
He
did, sorry, but he was raping them. I can for about 4
hammering them,
figuratively
abusing them. There's lots of words.
And very similar to what he's saying there is we were keeping the ball and we were trying to build it up, and I'm not saying looking confident, but Everton was shit. Let's just get that out there. Them were dreadful. Worst team I've seen in about a year at our place was them.
Apart from us.
And then as he says,
we had the beating of them all day.
Oh, they were terrible.
There was only one team going to win that game at the start.
They were terrible.
The longer we go without scoring, the worse we get.
And that's where that panic then sets in.
And then the crowd starts getting panicky, and then everyone starts getting panicky, and then you know the sub comes on that isn't the one you want, or the player who you want isn't on the bench, or you know what I mean, and people start looking for excuses to have a go then, and then that's it.
But like
you've lost the crowd then, you know what I mean.
When I said the whole thing about Diame and fans are being dicks and that, I got a few replies of people saying, when I pay me money for my season ticket, I'm entitled to do that. Well, fair enough. Aye, fair enough. You're entitled to opinion. But what is you? sarcastically applauding a substitution going to achieve, apart from making yourself feel a little
Well,
bit
that's
better.
the easy way out, isn't it? By saying that. Well, I've paid me money, I can say what the fuck
It's like
I
I've
want.
paid my
It's
money,
like-
but you wouldn't see me doing that. Like, it's not going to achieve anything. You're not going to give it. Like, nothing's going to come of it. The player's just going to.
Do you think?
Just fucking. Oh.
Do you think Diame is playing badly on purpose? Do
Do
you think he's going out the day going, I tell you what, I'll fucking show these the day. I'll show these.
watch.
You think I've been shit? Watch this.
Next time.
I had a very similar experience to what you said, Deka. There was this bloke who again was doing the same every single pass, like anything that just wasn't going our way. He was on it all the time. Oh, that's terrible. That's shit. Fucking crap.
You notice how he's turned from like Santa to like a Amish Santa now.
I feel Jewish or something like that.
Jewish? It's like Amish in it. What's it called?
And I turned round to him and I went, I'd love to come and fucking stand and watch you do your job for a day.
Did you?
Aye, because
him,
I'd
mate.
sat there and he just wound us up so much because, like you say, all he was doing was sitting picking fault. He wasn't looking for any of the good we were doing in the game we talked about this in the last podcast. We're supporters. We're meant to go there and encourage the team to do well. This fucking knobhead was just standing there, just wanting to abuse them and just. He obviously hadn't had a shag for a long time because it was just every single thing out of his mouth was just negativity. And I was like, you must be fucking
Well,
brilliant
he must have been
at
this
your
guy's
job.
brother that I was in the group. This guy, honestly, mate, I've never sat next to someone like that. It's
ridiculous.
It was everything.
We had the opposite, didn't we, in front of us, Adam? There was a bloke that was like, really like proper supporting the team. Anything. How are you, lads? Come on, you can do it better than that next time. Come on.
Okay, he's obviously
and
trying to
someone
get
in front
it
of him
to-
turned around, he just turned around and went, no, mate, it was shit.
I'll never
Getting
forget.
wrong for supporting.
Exactly, that's the fucking negativity that's breeding in the place.
I'll never ever
The
forget.
poison spreads.
There was a game we played, and it was Chelsea at home or something a few years ago. Danny Simpson was playing right on side of the defence, and he wasn't having a great game. You know what I mean? It was one of them games where it wasn't working for him. Everything he kicked went out, went into touch, kept losing the ball in possession. He wasn't playing well, that's fair enough, but there was this kid about 3 people along from me and Bestie who constantly was, every time he touched the ball, like before he'd even done anything, "You shite, Simpson! You fucking shite! You may as well fucking pack shite, Simpson!" And one of our mates just turned around and went, "Mate, you're wearing double denim, you can't say it fucking." And he never said a word for the rest of the game. Superb.
He was another one.
Just
He was another
put
one
it
that
on.
used to enjoy winding the crowd. I think Simpson, because he had his fan club that absolutely hated him as well.
Aye.
There's just certain
Mind you,
certain
he
players
had-
that just
We love a
attract it.
scapegoat, don't we?
He had a
We
fan.
love a scapegoat.
He had a good fan base because my mate Porter, he tweeted him. I don't know if you're on a night out. He was on a night out in Newcastle, and I put a picture on saying like having shots or whatever he was doing. And my mate Porter tweeted him saying, "I think you want to just like stop doing that and learn how to defend properly." So he recorded the tweet and says like, "Have you seen this? Go to town, lads," or something. And my mate was just getting absolutely hammered. So he changed his profile picture and everything on Twitter because he was just getting rinsed. Honestly, he was. But you know, it is what it. But yeah, going back to what you said, that Obertan used to get it constantly. Run forward, beat 4 men and like hit the first man with the cross. You shite die. It was just the worst ever. There was just no need for all
just
of that.
There's no perspective, is there? There's just not. It's just
just-
not like, all right, you know, he's had a go. Like he's
next
trying to do
time.
his job. He's not good enough. But you know, never mind. Let's see what happens. Nah, fucking rubbish. Shoot him. Take him outside.
He's right.
Shoot him outside the straw.
This
Set
guy,
fire to him.
honestly, that's exactly what it's like, and it spreads though. That's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even the most supportive of person that's there, when you're surrounded by that, it'll just go actually not.
Well, I was just sitting festering and I could feel my stomach getting tighter and tighter. I'm sitting there getting more angry and I'm like, I fucking kill him.
That's a great line you said, William. That was a really good.
But it was, I mean, how can you expect in whatever walk of life you're employed, if somebody is standing over you saying, you're shit, you're rubbish, you can't do this, you can't do that,
Wouldn't take him a taxi driver.
it's
would
it's only going to affect your performance. It's not going to like, he's going to go, oh, well, that's really spurring me on and motivating us to do better.
I don't get us wrong. I might come on here.
Must
and
have great managers, these people.
I might text you and say, "Fuck, you were shite" or whatever. I'm never like that at the ground, you know. Honestly, I'm not. I'm so supportive, and I never criticise them. When it's finished, I'll be walking
just
around.
saves it
going,
for
God,
the
he's
podcasts.
crap him. And I will say what I think, but I don't see the benefit of any of that.
Well,
when I'm in
of
the ground.
course not.
I just don't see it.
Do you know what another thing I was mentioning with the whole Diame thing? Well, he's on this amount of money a week, you should be better. Like, you fucking, like,
That makes a difference.
like, what difference does it make? Like, it's our fault that they're on so much money because we're the idiots paying the money over and over again. It's
The one that always used to get me with that is somebody would miss a penalty. He's on 80 grand a week. How can you hit the target from 12 yards? Like, the two things are not related. They're really not.
It's just a poor excuse, isn't it?
You know
And
what I mean?
it's just I'm out to like
The keeper's on 40, why didn't he save it? Like, you know what I mean? It's a bit, you know.
Because if he'd been on 42, he wouldn't. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. If you step up for a penalty, you've got to make sure that the keeper's not making more money than you'll miss. Excuse me, how would you make it?
It is a funny one, like. But I mean, the game itself, I think we've all quite agreed there that we were the better side there, like for long periods of that game. We were trying our best. The goal came completely against the run of play. That fat pig shouldn't have been on the pitch. He shouldn't have been on the pitch when he scored that goal because he went for Richie there.
Oh, that elbow.
He did him, I'm telling you.
Well, we saw that at the time when it happened. I went, I'm sure he's just elbowed him.
I actually honestly said that. I went, he's done trying to do him there.
The ref is standing like the distance between me and Mark.
He's standing looking directly at it.
But he's gotten away with shit like that for his entire career.
He has, aye.
The fucking spud-faced twat. Do you know what I mean?
He has,
there's no excuse for that being allowed in a game of football now.
Now you fast forward to, was it Saturday or Sunday in that Spurs game? And our two friends again.
Dane get it started.
Kane and Ali. I mean, how on earth can they get away with that again?
So Shelby got sent off 2 yellows, right? And I was wrong about the first yellow. I thought he got the ball. I've seen the replay. He didn't. He didn't. But he's getting 2 yellows. He's being banned. And then you've got Ali doing something like that. And
well, just look at the same game. You've got Rooney.
And then Rooney stitching someone like that, and now it happens. And I think some fans probably think we just bang the drum of like, well, we're so hard done by and it's really unfair. But sometimes it is unfair, like, and it's not right.
Like it,
isn't it? It's not right. You've got these little glorified English guys, Ali and Kane and Rooney, who are untouchable. But you've got Mitro, for example, or Shelby, who just has to look at someone the wrong way and it's a yellow. It's wrong.
I mean, we've had the opposite side of that coin in the past with Shearer. Obviously, there was times that he got away with it.
He did. It's wrong though, isn't it? It's right. I'll say this. I'm telling you now. It has to be fair, whether it's Shearer or whether it's anyone. If you've done something, you've got to pay the consequences for it.
I think the stats came out now. I think it was the Chronicle ran it again as a story today around the penalties, and that we still haven't had a penalty.
The red cards.
Like the last one, red cards is another one. Sending off.
I was just forgetting the one last season, which was.
So that was the last one was the one against
Richie took it, then
Spurs.
We didn't get it in that.
No, in the Premier League.
The Premier League
so the last one was Spurs on the last game of the season when we got relegated.
All right.
When we won 5-1, when Aldum scored.
When the embarrassment.
But then we hadn't had one for a season and a half or something before that.
Second red cards. The last red card was against Norwich.
Yep.
When Remy got sent off. And you look at that and you think maybe you are quite hard done by.
We're not the only. I mean, we're not the only team.
I'm sure every fan of every team goes through like this.
Yeah.
Goes through
I think it was only us and Spurs that haven't had a penalty.
They pull it to bits and they think, oh, my team's getting a bad rub of the green light, or the FA are against it, or we never get a favourable cup draw or anything like that. It's like,
everyone has a turn, isn't it?
Everyone has that turn, but I think it does seem it seems to us because we're not playing very well.
Yeah.
As well, that it's kind of magnified, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
and we're losing games, so you think that could have changed the game.
But we don't. At the minute, we're not playing well, but we're also not getting any luck either. Do you know what I mean? Like that Marino shot hitting the inside the post.
That was a massive thing for me at the weekend.
Richie hitting the crossbar. It's same with the Arsenal game. We're not getting any luck whatsoever. So hopefully, you hope that the luck.
The thing that's annoying though is like you look at the send off. Well, he didn't get sent off, but afterwards the ban he got after the West Ham game when he came on and he elbowed. I can't remember who it was. It was Lanzini. But then you look at the Rooney one and the Richie one, it's very similar. In fact, almost identical.
But again, it hasn't been picked up by the press or ran with it. Nobody's analysing it after the game or anything like that. And it's
Richie, like, he guns over, then he gets back up. Would it made a difference if you had a play acted on that?
It probably would. I might have, but I don't.
Because he just bounced back up.
Because the referee didn't flinch when it happened.
Well, you can only presume he hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
You can only presume he hasn't seen it. If he's slightly looking the wrong way and he's not seen it.
I think he's been looking at the ball. I honestly do think he's been looking at the ball. But going back to the Brighton game when that lad jumped over someone then stood on Yedlin, the ref didn't see that, but it came back on him and he got banned. Rooney should be coming back against Rooney. And last night they won 3-1. He had a hand in every goal. Yeah. And he shouldn't have been playing.
He was the only player they had on that pitch, Rooney. Because he had like a free roll. He didn't move anywhere. He was single-handedly.
There was him and the number 14 as well, whose name I can't remember.
James Birch.
Yes. Centre defensive midfield.
Gay? Is it Gay?
Yeah.
He's a good player.
He had so much time and space because our midfield was playing so deep that he just do what he wanted. Well, he was coming short and getting the ball off the keeper, turning around, and there was nobody. We'll struggle
with this pressing game at home. I don't know why. Leicester again, we were miles off a lot of their players, miles off them.
We don't do it.
I don't understand what's going on.
I don't think should get the ball.
Look tight,
we do it, but but we only do it when Perez plays, and fucking people hate it when he plays.
It's like
it's mad.
It's strange with Perez though.
Press.
It's strange with Perez though, because he does press, and we've said a lot of times that Perez looks like he's working a lot, but then recently I think when he has been playing and when he has came on, he has improved quite a lot.
This is how I would use him. I would bring him on for 20 minutes when defenders have got tired legs and say, go and make a nuisance of yourself and just buzz around them. You know what I mean?
It's like we said the other week, it's the Sammy effect, isn't it? That's what we used to do when we brought Sammy on. He used to come on the left wing when they were knackered last 10-15 minutes and just run at people.
That was I love that thing that Pardew said to him. Apparently, I wasn't a Pardew fan, but apparently he said to Sammy one.
There was many of them about.
He said to Sammy one game when he was coming on. He said, "What shall I do?" And he said, "Just go and create havoc."
No, well,
that's fair.
That's what I used to do. Like, to be fair,
is it? Cheers.
To be fair,
just set out with them lanky legs down the wing, didn't he? And
to be fair, if you're waiting to go on the manager, says, "Do what you want," basically. You married.
Well, that's essentially what Rooney was doing. In the Everton game, he just had a free roll.
Well, that's what we're missing.
He was all over the place.
He's superb when he gets a ball. He finds a pass. He's no doubt about it. He's a very good player. I'm not saying he's not. It's just you go at the second half. Well, actually, do you know what I was annoyed about the starting lineup? The only thing I was annoyed with, you've played a striker for maybe 8 weeks, hasn't scored, missed chance after chance after chance. He then scores for you at the weekend, and then you drop him the next game. Can anyone explain? I kind of get that one through my head. You play him when he doesn't score, and you didn't when he scored.
The only thing that I could think of with that was that either something's happened in training, or he's not feeling 100%.
Well, I think
that's the only thing I can think, because.
But then he goes for Arsenal, obviously.
Well,
I know he's maybe tried to change shape to be hard to beat again, because I know he's played 4-4-2 and we've been getting humped. So I know he's probably thought, I'll bring Perez back in, and that's fine. I understand that. But if you're a striker who's been lacking a confidence scores, you roll a dice again.
And he's played well the last couple of games.
He has.
In the run up to that.
I thought he was unlucky. I've been screaming for him to get dropped beforehand, by the way, because I don't think he's been very good. And then he's just starting to pick up form on your bench.
I think he does a lot of work that goes unnoticed by a lot of fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't do the glamorous stuff, and he's not scoring enough goals. But I think if he had a really good striker playing alongside him, a really good striker, Dwight Gales, you know what he is.
He's all right. I've got time for him. I do like him.
If he was playing with a really good striker alongside him, I think you'd see more from him.
Yeah.
In terms of assists and all the play and all that sort of stuff. But when you've got a striker, he needs to score goals, which has been a problem. That Ronaldo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, look at that stat that you shared. Was it today or yesterday
about aerial duels, wasn't it?
I've said it. He's doing the unglamorous thing of he's winning balls, he needs somebody playing on his shoulder to get in behind them. And
I actually thought him and Gale were started to develop a bit of a partnership, but I do understand why we can't play 4-4-2. I get that, because we look like we're just going to concede every time they come forward.
But midfield's not.
It's not strong enough. It's not mobile enough. Nah, it's not. It's really not. You're right there. So I do get that. I'm not stupid, but I think then I also think Gale's no good on his own.
No,
because he can't do what Yoshelu can do, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So I appreciate it's hard, and I'm kind of glad I don't have to make the decision myself. But for me, I would have started Yoshelu simply because he does the hard work. He's up front on his own. You already know that he's going to be up front on his own. He's just scored. To drop him, I thought was a bit.
But then you flip it around, play devil's advocate. You're looking at a game we lost because of an error. So would Yoshelu make that much of a difference?
Every game.
The first half, we were all praising the first half.
No, very good. Well, we never ever got behind them. In all fairness, Allardyce said after the game that we had loads of the ball and we were working hard and we were trying, but we never really. They took 35-yard screamer from Marino to really. We never actually really. But again,
they keep at it making. I mean, not a lot of saves.
I can't remember. I never honestly would say that they were hanging on in that game at any time. Second half, we could have.
We always looked like the team that was going to score, though, didn't we?
Well, maybe, but. Gale never had it. Actually, he was dreadful. His first touch just bounced off him all night long. You know what I mean? But you've got Diame.
Like you're saying, we had absolutely no luck in that game whatsoever.
Which one?
The Everton game.
I had
no luck. I mean, every ball, if it bounced to one of their players. Every shot that we were having, it was coming off one of their players.
He's right there.
It was just going just wide. We hit the bar on the post twice. We just need. But that's the thing when you're struggling. you're down on your luck. It shows you just don't get that lucky
never
break.
ever falls to like one of our players either. Like it always falls the opposition. Yeah. It's
I mean,
mental,
there's a bit in that way where you've got to be working harder as a team to make sure you win that second ball, but you do expect sometimes it to drop to your players, and it never did.
You're going to get that with Allardyce teams and all, aren't you? They'll, when they've not got the ball, they go 2 rows of 4, and they just sit in, and you're like, come on, get through us. Do you know what I mean?
He was struggling.
We didn't have many chances. I mean, they didn't make many chances either. The goal came against.
They had 2 shots, 2 shots all again.
It was properly like midfield. Just the ball bouncing off people down for throws, and like there was no fluidity in the game.
I don't want to go on about it, but did you watch the game last night? They were playing last night against.
I didn't see it. No.
That was a dreadful. Honestly, they were horrendous. Everton, horrendous. They won 3. They just seemed to be getting. They're winning, but they were shite.
That's what he does.
Honestly, and against us, honestly, I swear, I think they were the worst team I've seen at our place. And you go back to the Championship, Fulham were a mile better team than them in terms of just on that game of football. Them was shocking, man, and we still couldn't beat them. And that did. I didn't leave the game like angry or disappointed. I actually thought we were lucky. We didn't have any luck, and I thought, as the lads there have given everything today.
Yeah.
Like, and tried the best.
I couldn't fault them on the
tried the best.
I left angry, but only because of the Shelby red card.
Aye.
Yeah.
I was ready to leave, thinking, all right, it's a shame we've lost.
Yeah.
But then he'd done that, and I thought, "Fuck are you doing?
I was in exactly the same boat.
What are you actually doing now? What are you offering to us
Absolutely,
by being like that?"
But his time's up soon. His time's up. I'm telling you. And you know how much I love Shelby.
See, I honestly thought he was unlucky.
I just thought he was fucking stupid.
But in one breath, yes, he's stupid, but in the other, you almost had to do it.
For what reason?
Because they were breaking away. He was practically the last man.
92nd minute or something like that.
I'll be honest, my dad, he went.
And it was in their half, wasn't it?
He says,
it was just over half, just on the halfway.
It was in their half. It was between,
just
between the edge of the box and halfway line. Because it come out, we put the ball in from a free kick. It got nodded away. Their left-sided midfielder took it away, and he just come clattering into it.
Yeah, he did that.
Like
that was poor.
I think he made an attempt to win the ball. Like.
You fuck yourself for this game. You get a red card. You can't play next week. And
two
games? Well, 2 games because he's already had one. So who knows when you're going to get back in the team? Just have some brain cells. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you were saying that he was going to see like a anger management psychiatrist and all
this.
Yeah,
his therapist isn't doing that well, but
we're sacking them.
He said that himself. He came out and did when he did an interview a while back.
When he wanted to get a new one.
I think that was.
I don't think it was anger or anything like that. I think he made a fair attempt to try and win the ball.
Any amount of anger management you want, it's not going to cure stupidity, is it?
The first one for me was a harsh decision because, and I think he was booked because it was him.
I agree.
There'd been umpteen tackles before that where people had got away with it, and there was nothing. And I cannot stand Shelby really, but I think he was hard done by.
Loads of people I talk to, especially at work, will say, he doesn't win a head on midfield. Never puts a tackle in, and then he puts 2 tackles and he gets sent off, and people go, "What are you tackling for?" Like. I didn't. If he had won that ball there and swung one out and was scored, he's an absolute hero. Yes, it was silly. Maybe he shouldn't have done it. Of course, he shouldn't have done it. The proof's in the pudding. He's been sent off. But I think he was a bit hard done by. I thought the ref could have had it, and I probably said
if the ref had
10 seconds
a bit
to
of
go,
sense. There wasn't even that.
Well, it wasn't even that. The ref Naz, I'm gonna have to send you off here. I think the ref should just kind of went, listen,
Well, he knows that as well, though. He knows that he's going to get sent off if he makes that tackle and doesn't get it right. He's got to take some responsibility for that.
And I'm not saying he's innocent.
The ref can't be blamed.
But then you've got to look at the ref.
He didn't fucking send Rooney off.
That's what I mean. Like Rooney could have had umpteen yellow. Like when he got subbed off.
That was horrendous.
With his shin pad and all that.
He took his captain's armband off.
Pathetic.
Williams. Then
the furthest away that he can.
Walks away further. Stops. Shin pads come off. The ref just stand there like this.
It's stupid.
Because he was doing it on purpose.
And he put 4 minutes on at the end. There was at least 6.
But there were six substitutions.
It's a joke.
Even before any stoppage.
If you have to waste time against us, you're a bad side. That's what I
would say. They were wasting time from the first time they took the ball.
Well, we were talking to a couple of Everton fans in the pub beforehand, and look, what he's expecting for the game. I went, we'll probably lose 1-0. Rooney will score, but I thought it would be like a screamer. And he goes, nah, you will get a result out of this. You were playing shite football, so it'll probably be a draw for that. So the Everton fans weren't confident in that. And if I was playing Newcastle at that time, I'd be thinking, well, come on, batter who's like. But
the only comments I could take from the game was that I honestly thought we played alright. I thought Yedlin was.
I'm the same as Taylor because
Yedlin was the best.
I was ready to
pitch.
leave that ground thinking, fair enough. Like, it was a mistake that's cost for the game.
I was going straight to see Star Wars after that, so I was buzzing. You know what I mean? I was well up for it. I was like, I'm going to go and have a pint in the Berry, and then I'm going to go and see Star Wars.
What time you
Shelby hasn't been doing that anyway, though, has he?
Nah,
he's been doing that anyway.
And again, like you touched on him not being in the team and stuff like that. And to be honest, I wouldn't have him in the team. Yes, he's a good player, but there's no way he's got the legs for that game.
He's not doing enough when he's playing, is he? Though he's not doing enough, man.
It's like you said, we're immobile in midfield, and he totally sums that up. He hasn't got the legs to get around the pitch, to impact anything going forward. You only see him make one run a game, if that.
And it annoys me because I love him, but he's not doing enough.
Shelby will have a game where he's great. Some of the passes will be unbelievable, second to none. Then he'll go through a patch of 3-4 games where, like many other midfielders, he just seems like a passenger in the game. And that's what I think our team right now is just full of people that are just there. They're just there. They're not really doing much.
Well, I was looking at for still on the Everton game, their goal. It all stemmed from not picking Rooney up in midfield. Rooney was stood in between the two of them.
You're going to blame Perez again.
He just ran straight into the box, totally unchallenged. Nobody went with him, tracking. Nobody was when he was standing there in the space, went to close him down or anything so that he couldn't take the ball. They were just standing off him constantly and allowing him to have it.
I pointed this out at the time when it happened to Daz, who I was with, me mate Daz, who I went the game with. Rooney was just ghosting off the back of people in between the lines.
Yeah.
And that's all he's done for his entire career.
Yeah, he has.
He comes deep if he wants to. If he's getting frustrated, he'll come deeper and deeper and deeper. But if he's happy, all he does is just takes 2 steps backwards. And people don't watch him. And he's got acres. And he was doing it again and again and again. I said to Darren, we're going to have to watch him taking 4 or 5 steps backwards and make me sell a load of space. Because Shelby and Hayden, or whoever it was, Shelby and Marino, were both just doing this, looking forwards, and he just takes a bit of space. And he's more or less lined up in exactly the same formation, so you can even say you just pick up your opposite man.
I agree, but I don't think you're picking the best midfielder, like 2 centre midfielders that are Marino and him. They're not defensive minded. I think Marino puts his foot in. I think he got the most tackles against Arsenal. He'll win the ball for you, but he's not switched on defensively. Shelby is not switched on defensively.
We don't have an enforcer who'll do it.
Hayden's not doing that job either. Like, in fairness, like
we don't have anyone to do it.
I think Marino, jumping ahead to Arsenal, I think Marino and Hayden played well together and were breaking up a lot of the Arsenal attacks.
I think Hayden, if he can just tell him to sit there and have, I would love to see Hayden, Shelby and Marino, as I've said. I think you'd see the best out of Shelby and Marino.
But we've seen that a couple of weeks ago and it was pathetic.
No, I don't know. What game was that? I can't remember all 3 of them playing like.
3 games ago, was it?
But he's just going to make a game up here and it never happened.
It did? No, it definitely did.
If he's playing, he always wants to play with a number 10 though, doesn't he?
Yeah, of course.
And the number 10 isn't going to be part of that midfield block. So, because it's almost like a second striker.
Yeah, it is.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, you're playing with 2 in the middle of midfield and they're having to drop deep. They're dropping deep all the time. So, there's always going to be gaps, there's always going to be space for the opposition. But because of them being immobile as well, Shelby, running like he's got his fucking arse covered in treacle, do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say Marino's quick either. Like,
Marino's not quick either, but Hayden's busy. And he gets around the pitch. He covers loads of ground. Yeah. He doesn't go forward very well.
Yeah.
I think he's more defensively minded than Shelby or Marino.
100%. Yes.
But at the minute, I'd play Hayden and Marino. I wouldn't be playing Shelby. But then your number 10, if you're going to do that, complete Diame because he doesn't work enough.
Shall we talk about Diame?
It was a surprise inclusion for me on that game anyway. I was very surprised.
I didn't think he was that bad, first off.
I didn't.
Did you not?
No. I thought he was. He was putting himself about to try
record times at home in one half. He lost the ball.
Did he?
He lost the ball. I think it was 14 times.
Was that in the first half or the second?
Well, yeah, he lost the ball twice in the second. The first half,
I think that was.
He lost the ball a record number of times. He lost the ball.
See, I was watching it and
he was much worse second half. Like, everybody was getting on his back as we've just been talking about and stuff like that. And that's got to affect you as a player hearing that. Then it's going to send you inward because you know he's not a one where he's going to suck it up and say, right, well, I'll show you. It affects him in completely the opposite way.
I don't think he's a number 10. Like, I just honestly don't think that is his position.
I'm not sure he's a footballer.
But he's done it. He's done it at West Ham. He's done it at Hull.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if he was. Sorry, that was me. I apologise. I don't think he was that bad. Is what the reaction of the fans were, but he wasn't very good either. Like, in all fairness, like.
Did you not see the other day when the story broke about him being away in January for $2.5 million to Turkey or something like that, and like literally everybody's replying to it, going, "Are we paying them $2.5 million? He's not worth 2.5 pence and all of this," and I'm like, these fucking people, man. This is just an absolute joke.
This has just been a podcast where we're just slating fellow fans.
But they're not fans.
I get really frustrated with that sort of stuff. Like I find it, and I mean I don't get to go to every game because of work and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I often feel if I'm having an opinion on something like that, then I sometimes feel like a bit of a fraud because I haven't been there at the coalface like everybody else has. You know, but at the same time, there's a time and a place for it. Do you know what I mean? And like you say, it's gonna roll down onto the pitch if it starts creeping into the crowd, and you can feel it at the minute because of the frustration because we're not winning games. If we were winning games and Diame was coming on as a sub for the last 10 minutes, nobody would have a problem with him, even if he was playing shit. Do you know what I mean? Nobody would be bothered. So it's dangerous. I think it's quite dangerous what's going on at the minute.
Rafa's messages in the media, I also read the programme before the game, it is the same message. Stick together, support the fans, support the players. It's the same every week. So obviously he's standing on the sideline going, Jesus, like.
But that's the problem. People are listening to
the fact he has to say that in the first place.
Exactly, you know. And of course, listen, right. Of course, the fans going to be frustrated. I don't come away from the game. Well, that was amazing. We've lost 8 in a row now. Of course, I don't. But we have to be a little bit realistic and surely understand that by booing them or just having their life for a back pass to the goalkeeper. Just little. That's what annoys me the most is these little things where they're keeping the ball and they'll go back to the keeper. Oh, he's fucking went backwards.
Well, the thing is,
I just don't understand what
we all knew that we were in for a tough season, no matter what. We're in for a tough, especially we didn't spend next to now in the summer, so they knew it was going to be even harder this season. But a good start, and I think the expectations, and we mentioned it before at the start of the season, the expectations just went like ridiculous. So as soon as you start doing shit, you've got fans going, well, what are doing well at the start of the season? Like, why
because some people are so black and white, they're so like,
there's no in between. There's Newcastle fans, there's not. And we just mentioned there, like, it's mental.
It's very kind.
Yeah, at the start.
And I still thought we were playing particularly poorly. I'll be really honest. I do, but because I get my card, I'll get them or something. Even the games we were winning, I still thought we weren't playing particularly well. Honestly, the Swansea away, it was a dreadful game, but we won 1-0. The thing is, we were on the back of it, like we beat Palace last minute. It's a dreadful game. It was a dreadful game, but we won 1-0.
Well, the Liverpool game, we mentioned that Joslu had a kicked off his shin and went in.
Marino was
never convincingly won a game this season. I wouldn't say.
West Ham were brilliant.
West Ham,
brilliant. Them were dreadful at the same time. And that was the thing. Every game we played was very nip and tuck, and we were winning some 1-0. And everyone's loving life, and it's the best away performance ever because we've kept a clean sheet. Then there was games where we were playing the same Burnley away. There was nothing between them two teams in that match. We lost 1-0, and look at the league now. Burnley's 4th or something, and where we are. There was nothing between them two teams that night.
That was the game for me.
Everything
turned on that game. Yeah. When it didn't go our way that night, then you could see the shoulders go, and it was the same every week.
And we haven't got the personnel to be able to really freshen things up, have we, unfortunately?
Shall we jump a bit forward to the Arsenal game? We'll put it on a bit of a more positive note, because I think going that game we're all expecting a cricket score to be honest. Like,
I thought we'd get bummed.
I thought we're looking at 4-5-6-0 easy, because those are the type of games where you go down and we're struggling and we're just going to absolutely fall flat on our arse, aren't we? And it ended up.
I need a pint. I need to get some.
Alright, you're going to get everyone a pint. I'll have a pint, mate.
I had one in the pump, which I don't know.
Which, the pump in your costume or the pump at the bar?
That's what keeps blowing it up.
Huh? Do you want a Christmas tree?
Oh, look at this.
I'll have one of them, like.
Very Moorish.
Very nice. Taylor's like probably the best guest because he brings food and crackers.
Can you just send that in a message to Bestie?
Bestie promised.
Taylor's the best guest we've ever
promised us spaghetti bolognese, didn't he? We're still waiting.
I haven't had one. I used to do a podcast with him in his kitchen.
Oh, well, you always used to put a buffet on when he came round for it. And
he came smelling like bolognese all night.
I'll be smelling like bolognese tonight as well, because I've had bolognese for my tea.
Is that why you're so late, mate?
Sorry about that.
No, it's because I was wrapping Christmas presents.
What, dress of Santa?
No, I had that in the bag ready to come.
Aye, so
Thing is I could have actually been early tonight.
You fucking good.
That's why I messaged you saying what time we're doing it.
You're 20 minutes fucking late.
That's because I got involved in other things.
If like you're listening or watching now, it's midnight. The pub's
This
shut.
is starting to go like a Newcastle United home game. Like suddenly it's all gone a bit wrong and everyone's having to go at each other. Do you know what I mean? Crowd's turned on it. Yeah.
If you walk off, I'll start going.
Should inject a bit of fun into this.
Let's get it.
You lost that.
In your face.
Thanks for the support.
Exactly.
Yeah, put that on now.
You'll have to wear your hat.
How do you stop a skunk smelling?
Oh, is that like an anti-Newcastle joke?
Hi.
Fuck it, is that a
Yeah,
Mac
me,
joke?
Mac and Crackers.
That's been sent in by Mr. D. Moyes.
Hashtag FTM. What's that all
Is that
about?
from A Love Supreme?
How do you what?
How do you stop a skunk smelling?
Put a peg on its nose.
Hold its nose.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, no, sound like I got it right.
That was close.
Oh, what's this? The mystery calculator. Wow. This has got a transfer budget in it.
It's a mystery.
That's how small the book will
January
be.
transfer budget.
It's a mystery how it
You
works.
have to stick a pin in it. I don't know. How's this one?
We've got a dot.
A set of 6 cards printed. Show all the cards to a friend. Ask him about this.
What else have you got?
He's got the hat, man. He's got
Get
the
the hat on.
Oh, I haven't got it. But that at work. We're playing Monopoly at work the other day.
Sweet,
He's bored in.
Oh, I'm glad to see that you're working efficiently.
I
Then,
had a team game in Monopoly, and he brought in Christmas crackers, but they were Newcastle ones, and I got a keyring in one of them.
Did you?
I was really happy.
Was it a Newcastle branded keyring?
Was I?
Was it in Rafa Utro's keyring? Those haven't been selling much recently, I'll tell you that. Fuck me. Fuck, my business has took a fucking hit. Thanks to Diame and Rafa.
You need to diversify.
Just put in Rafa Utris on the back, but sometimes not his subs.
Sometimes he makes mistakes. Like this.
Richard Keys has been doing wonders for your business today, hasn't he?
Oh, Jesus, aye. What's
The
he been on?
mistake you're making is that you're
What's he been on?
you're basing it in the
Don't
present. You need to go nostalgia, mate. That's where it is.
Rafa, what you
What you
used
need
to
to do is just put an order in for some Rafa out keyrings.
Oh, fucking hell.
Did your bets, just
You know.
in case, like, aye.
I just think you got the way that the Sunderland lot do and just do anti-Sunderland things. I think you're never going to get that from me, like. Have you noticed that the Love Supreme are piping up?
Or what?
A Love Supreme, the Sunderland fanzine, they were piping up saying, Merry Christmas everyone, Sunderland are out the bottom 3 and Newcastle are in the bottom 3.
Oh,
That's made their Christmas.
that's nice for them,
How
innit?
strange is that?
Obsessed, man. Absolutely
But
obsessed.
if you go online and look at the look at their merchandise store, it's all like stuff against Newcastle.
You know, like, I would understand if they come up with something a little bit more clever than that, but
Yeah.
there's not much time in between sort of fingering your sister and eating chips, is there? So you
Cheesy
just
chips.
gotta do what you can, you know what I mean?
Cheesy chips. They're just.
It's
I
not
know
right,
this,
like,
this obsessed word gets hoyed about a lot, but bloody hell. It's a bit
They support you
extreme,
anyway.
like, I
So
was,
what they're worried about?
well, last on Saturday, I should drag us around the bridges. I hate going to the bridges. Honestly, man, it's like a scene out of the Walking
Oh, it
Dead.
makes me feel amazing.
It's horrible. Aye, you do feel lush.
Feel like a
walking around the
celebrity
bridges.
when I'm coming
go there if
up.
I need a bit of a pick me up, my self-esteem, you know what I mean? Just
I-
wandering on the bridges.
I'm walking around the bridges and the father-in-law's a Sunderland fan. She's like, I need to get him some for Christmas. And there's like a club, so I went, I'm not going in there. I went, you can get it. She
There's
goes,
one in the galleries, that would have been easier.
I know, but Sunderland's close, isn't it? To my house. So,
Look the same.
well, that sounds really... I don't mean, yeah, Sunderland.
Say I did, say I'll have you for that.
But I wandering around and there's a little stall in the middle of the bridges. And it's
stall?
called- A stall.
Shut up, man. Their
Club-
club shop is a
club
store.
kiosk.
No, a different. Like this is completely different than the club shop. The club shop's in Debenhams or something. And the stall is called Bragging Rights, right? Everything on this stall: mugs, keyrings, books, signed photos, all to do with goals against Newcastle. Like a stall just dedicated goals against Newcastle. Like that's
Did it have any
mental.
Did it have any FTM merchandise?
100. Of course it would have.
Get in.
It's just, I can't understand it, mate.
There was now that free kick. Kieran Richards scored against it. Well, basically the Wind scored it against it.
No
Yeah, I
idea.
remember that, yeah.
The Wind scored it.
I remember that.
They had,
I remember Liam
18 of them
O'Brien's
signed,
goal,
yes.
or Emery's goal, or
I bought
Ryan
a 16
Taylor's goal.
I bought a 16
Zogby's
television.
goal.
Shearer's
Topper's
goal.
goal is my favourite one.
I was in the home end for that. I was in their end for that game.
Albert
The
Luke.
4-1.
Did you see? Did
Davies
you ever
ass.
see the kiosk that they put up in the Newcastle airport?
I'm not just selling Sunderland.
Oh, I
It's a
see
club
that.
shop.
And then they had a big,
Club shop,
and then they had a big photo thing which
I
said
hated that.
your place in the northeast
Premier League football. Aye.
What
Fuck
was the
off.
damage?
That didn't last long,
What
did
was
it?
the damage? £9 for 4.
They still had that in the.
Get another 4.
They still had that in the arrivals
Did you get
hall as
one?
well.
I did, thanks.
Yeah, bought him £2 tonight. Nice lad, mate.
He brought you fucking.
You didn't get mine.
I don't know.
But I think I've paid for them.
Anyway, back to
Arsenal.
Fuck the Mackhams, not important about them.
Fuck the Mackhams. Oh, is that what it stands for? FTM.
Anyway, well, producer was there
Wait.
at Arsenal.
Oh, he's like the only one that goes to the away games. He'll never come and have a little chat.
He was there.
He's got his criticism.
Did they have padded seats in the Emirates?
Did they? Even
hell.
You want a fucking padded seat for £60 a ticket?
True.
I've got a padded seat.
But he didn't pay for his tickets.
I'd want somebody to give us a hand job while I was sitting there. Not fussy who.
Did you get to eat organic couscous while the match was on?
Was he mentioned couscous, Sylvie, you know?
I forgot about that.
You're like, God.
It was hummus, not couscous.
It's your last warning.
Brilliant.
You had your one.
Right.
I watched it, I watched it and
How did you
Well done,
watch it?
mate.
It was live on TV.
Well done.
I found it on Twitter.
Why did you turn Russian? I found it on Twitter.
Being racist again, isn't
That
it?
was Welsh.
Tom Jones was
Moyle.
sitting on the Tom Jones
Getting
team.
racist here. I watched it on Twitter, right?
Is Paul Potts Welsh?
Yes,
Isn't he?
He's a Cardiff.
Paul Potts.
Cardiff
Paul
fan,
Potts.
allegedly.
Cambodian, right?
Paul Potts?
Paul Potts, Cardiff.
We're
Not remember.
definitely
He
getting Paul
told me.
Potts on the podcast one week. We're not, but I'll pretend we're.
He's still avoiding, wasn't he?
He doesn't reply to us anymore.
Oh no, I was having a nice chat with him a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
When he was in China or something like that.
Was he still singing?
What were you doing in China?
I wasn't in China. Paul Potts was in China. He was singing at a football game.
Oh, he was. He did.
No, remember?
He was a
Aye.
China cook. That's when I seen him.
I was begging him to come
That's it.
and sing.
Because I said he was cheating on me.
Fucking hell.
They gave him a full strip. He had a full kit on, and he had football boots on as well. There were
did.
some Bobby Dazzlers then, bad
I
lads, I tell
was
you.
begging him to come to St James's Park to sing on the final game of the season about.
He turned up, man. Do you not remember? We've got photos.
Why he did.
I actually thought one of them was legit now.
You did.
It's so good. You know when they have that
It was only when
Shite. It was
only when Alan Barnes, Anton Deck, Jimmy Neal, and Sting turned up that they actually cottoned on to the fact that it might be
just
fake.
looked so real. Like it was that black background with him like, in black and white and it had gold writing with quotes saying like I'm a lifelong fan or whatever it was. And I was like, hey, he actually supports me.
Jimmy Neal and Sting were at the game, weren't they, the other week?
Either way.
Trying to buy
I
one.
was
Trying to buy
sad.
one.
It was the day when for some mad reason I managed to blag me and Bestie a couple of tickets in a box, right? So we're there, and I'm gone, and I'm looking down in the directors area because I'm thinking, I wonder if Mandy's there. Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to spot to see if she's there, and I'm looking around and I see a bloke who I think I know. So I nudge
That's
Bestie.
always a classic.
I nudge Bestie and I'm like,
Came from
is
somewhere.
that you know John who used to drink in the thing? Is that him down
Brains.
there? And he went, where? And I went, you see the bloke with the brown jacket and the black and white scarf? And the bloke with the brown jacket and black and white scarf turned round and it was Jimmy Neal. And I went, oh shit, it's Jimmy Neal. And then he went like that and the guy sat next to him went like that and it was Sting. I was just like, oh.
The wrestler Sting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Face been everything.
I remember a couple of days later, I don't know, Jimmy Neal had take
Sting.
shoes too. Jimmy Neal.
Posh Geordie, man.
He must have been doing something at the stage because he's part of the back of the stage.
Yeah. Has
just
he
bought
got
a
a Senti
fucking
bottle
load,
accent still? Or?
He was out. No, I think when he comes up here, he puts a Pride Jewelry accent on it.
He just sings Big River. Constantly.
Jimmy! He's just fucking singing to himself all the way.
Back when Cole was king.
Well, that night they'd been on the piss all day, apparently, him and Sting. And then they went to
They loved
Gucci
it.
Coochie on the night and Sting got up and sang.
They went where?
Oh, he got up and sang his own songs on the karaoke, didn't he?
He sang with a band. There was a live band, but the guy who was playing the keyboards in the band used to be in a band with Sting years ago.
All right.
So he got up and sang. But I was thinking, go on, Jimmy, fucking get up there and do Crocodile shoes.
Go on, I do, mate.
Just run the track.
Here's a big river.
Bastard.
Classic, that one. Get a big river going on.
Just Big River.
Oh, that one.
Big
River.
That one where he goes,
Beautiful.
she's lying. That's my favourite song in the world. She's lying. She's been out all night. I haven't seen her for ages and that. Like, she's come back and she stinks of blokes after shave.
Blush.
She's lying.
This has just gone way off topic now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, what we're talking about? Arsenal.
Arsenal, aye. It was a decent game.
Aye,
The last 20 minutes were I read.
yeah, but we're hanging on sometimes in the first half, but to be expected, it is what it is.
They started off well, Arsenal, didn't they?
He got Yosselu back involved and he dropped Gale. So
I think
there's another change.
Arsenal suffer a bit from the same thing that we have in that if
Shiteness.
they're not pissing all over teams, the crowd starts to turn on them, and they
They
get
become
and
physics.
then they turn shit. They start to panic, and you see world class footballers like Alexis Sanchez like shouting
crumbled.
balls out.
He
for Bruins
was
and
not
stuff
interested,
like that.
man.
You know, he just
He
didn't
was
look bad.
not
did he?
interested in that.
Oh, I thought Ozil played all right, and the goal was, it was a great goal.
Unfortunately, it was.
No, that was the keeper's fault. That goal was 100% the keeper's fault.
Say that you stood in the wrong place.
How many times? No, definitely the keeper's fault.
If he
didn't even move.
If he was stood in the
He
wrong place,
didn't move.
Did
you see how that ball got straight? I'd love to see how you could possibly
Mental.
move to save that.
Someone say, "Oh, you stood in the wrong place." Where do you want to stand? Hang off the crossbar.
The thing is,
I wish we could get them in sticks.
What happens is that like when your team concedes a goal, you just pick the goal apart. Sometimes you can overanalyze it. He should have done this and he should have done that. But when you score a goal, that goes out the window. Oh, he moved.
It was just an unreal
Imagine
finish.
one of us scored that goal. Imagine it. Not one of us. One of us would have been amazing. But one of our players, Richard, has scored that. The best goal ever.
I do that every week at five-a-side, man.
But it was a min goal, taking that away from it.
Oh, we conceded that. I just went fair play.
I think
I
don't think there's many players in the Premier League who would have took that first time. And most players in the Premier League, probably 90% of them, would have took it down and had a shot. Right, and by then you've got defenders' chance to get in place. He's just hit it first time, and
that's what done the keeper.
That's that bit of extra quality.
That was like the
when you have an £80 million player or a £50 million player, and when you've got a £5 million striker, that's the difference.
Then
you know what I mean?
Ryan Taylor scored a similar one. Yeah,
that's Ryan Taylor.
Gouffran scored a beauty against Derby.
He did from the corner.
Oh, it was a belt like that.
Stop mentioning his name.
No, as you see, I mean,
he's great.
Stop mentioning his name.
Great player.
I'll mention Ben off.
Lovely lad.
Shut up.
Lovely lad. Always never forgot his man's birthday.
Who? That's gone way over my head.
Lovely kid.
I'm not going to explain this one.
That's fine. He's a lovely lad.
It's a fucking top.
Let's not knock him.
I hope that they've took confidence out of that game, though. I hope they've, I know they've lost again, but hopefully they should be able to leave there and go.
The last two games we should have been picking up points from
what
them
chances
really.
in that Arsenal game like? I mean, what was your thoughts? Do you think we should have drew or get to something?
We talking to the audience
I'm
here.
talking at him.
It's really awkward, isn't it, when you got to look at the camera and talk to him behind there?
Are you breaking the fourth wall, you mad bastard?
No.
Beyond the wall.
Who's there?
The voice of God.
There you go. So what do you think?
There's two deflected shots. What, they should have gone in before they were deflected, or they should have gone in after they were deflected?
Well, that's what I was saying. The same with Arsenal.
There was
game,
one.
It's that look where you have a shot
one.
and you just want it to come off one of the defenders' knee and loop in over the keeper.
And if you top the league or second, top or third, top them going. Yeah. For some reason, when you're at the bottom,
or if you spend 300 million quid on your squad.
True. It upsets us a little bit as well that West Ham is starting to pick up bloody results, man. And Palace are winning and Moisey's winning, man, for Christ's sake.
But it's getting a result, isn't it? That's the thing.
The new manager and all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Hopefully it'll
we just need that lucky break just to break this cycle and get with.
He's like,
it's not many
Mark's turned from like, do you know, I was really happy Santa when he came in, he's turning like bad Santa now. Look at the clip of him now.
Yeah, you're right.
Looks like he's been dressed as Santa all fucking year.
Bad Santa. I think it's I just think this Saturday is just huge.
Got West Ham away and then Man City, haven't we?
Do you know what? I think the way things are at the
Merry
minute,
fucking Christmas.
I always worry about this whole thing where people go, this is a must-win game. It's like, no, there's like 15 games left or something, like 20 games left, whatever. It's not must-win until you're third bottom on the last day of the season and you need 3 points to stay up. Then it's must-win.
The must-win games start coming up pretty... Was it the
Without-
Huddersfield game I heard someone say must-win? Huddersfield game. And that was like,
But the thing is,
the 7th game of the season?
The thing is, though, you look at how many games is left, and
I put that really worried me.
On Twitter, we've got to draw. Is it draw all of our home games and
no,
sorry,
win
our home games.
So if we play City and all that jazz, forget about them. We'll have to win all of our home games that are left and draw all our away games to get 40 points. That sends the shit down.
That's fair enough, but that doesn't take into account what other teams are going to do, does it?
No,
maybe
it's just to get the 40 points.
That every home game and draw every away game just to get 40
outside of the top 6.
Outside the top 6.
I don't think we'll get 40 points, but I don't think that's going to make a difference. I think there's going to be teams. I don't think there'll be other teams.
The last few seasons, it's been.
I don't think there's an awful lot of quality in that bottom half of the league. I think you can put a bag paper between probably 10th and bottom.
Well, just look
even
at
though the points don't suggest that, but the quality that I've seen, I don't think
I've seen Swansea and I've seen Bournemouth quite a lot, and I think they're definitely worse than what we are. Definitely worse.
What about Swansea?
Well, I would have said Palace.
In West Ham until a couple of weeks ago, you could have
said Palace would be awful. But
can
again,
you remember when we played
The
Swansea.
dead cat bounce of the new manager.
You remember when we played Swansea and they had getting that Sanchez lad? Remember?
Fucking, he was
Can you
terrible,
remember?
Dog rough.
Absolutely terrible.
He hasn't got.
He hasn't had a game.
They don't want him back. Then.
Yeah,
Unit says no, keep him. They don't. No, they've actually.
No, he's not ours.
They don't want him back.
Didn't get him from us.
Yeah.
And Mourinho bossed him, didn't he, for that night? And all Sky talked about on that day was, Sanchez,
How
he's from
great he
Bayern
was,
Munich.
He's never been in the team for weeks.
He's never played. He didn't come on yesterday. That time Abraham looked terrible last night now, but it's a different story. But them, I think them look worse than us. And we've lost 8 on the bounce or something. And there's teams out there look worse than what we do, so that's a positive, I guess.
But the thing is, so if they keep going the way that they're going, they'll sack the manager.
That's the thing, and you'll get what he's saying. What do you call it again?
Dead cat
Dead
bounce.
cat bounce.
Dead cat bounce. Aye.
I think I do genuinely think that there's not a lot between the bottom 10 teams in the league.
Well, we could have went up to.
Wise, I think there's some teams that are hitting streaks of form, and you have to hope that when the turn of the year we'll get past a couple of tough games that we've got and stuff like that. That when we do have the chance to pick up points, that we start picking them up. But we can only do that if there's some investment in January.
Yeah.
Because at the minute the squad is stale as fuck.
And when?
And there's in January.
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 Elvis.
No, it's the piss. He wasn't the
There has to be some investment.
Yeah, you're
The
right.
squad's stale, and it's lacking in experience at this level in a lot of positions around the pitch. Picking up injuries here and there, and then we're waiting on players to come back from injuries who don't play anyway. And you're like,
Did you ever think the day would come where you were waiting for Dummett to come back into the team?
I'm not waiting for Dummett to come back in the team.
Oh, you're not?
personally. No.
So you'd rather Manquillo play?
I don't think he's going to be any better.
He's terrible, isn't he?
I know he's a left back and he's left footed, which is not what Manquillo is, but I think it's a little bit of a false dawn if you're looking at Paul Dummett going, oh, come on, Paul.
Yeah, I
You
think.
know what I mean?
We're back to the point where we mentioned this last podcast where players get better when they're not playing.
That's
In
exactly what I was
fans'
going to
minds.
say.
No, because Dummett's
Like,
always been shit. He
Mitrovic.
always will be shit.
It
We
does.
mentioned it.
Never seen anything like it, Wayne.
Well, we mentioned it. Mitrovic, Darlow, a massive one, and Dummett. Now everyone's waiting for Dummett to come back. And
It's every
how
time I
many
look
games
at
is
the
it going to
bench.
take? Aye.
Every time I look at the bench, I always go, God, the bench looks alright. I probably would have played him. Or you should bring him on. And they come on the thing now.
It's easy for us to say, isn't it?
It's always the same. I always feel like when we've lost a game, but if he had been playing from the start, or if he had come on earlier.
It's never that simple, is it?
Of course it's not, and maybe we've just got more belief in the players that we've got sometimes, because I often honestly sit there and think, should have brought him on an hour mark and had a half an hour instead of 10 minutes, he might have done better. But
I
maybe,
still
you
do.
know what I mean?
Still do the thing that I used to do when I was a kid, where you'd look at the two teams side by side and go, "Well, I know who all them are. Who the fuck's that? I've never heard of him playing for them. He must be shit."
I did that
I
with
still
Burnley,
do that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Do that with Burnley. You go through the team.
Deka
like,
and Burnley went, look at their team.
Aaron Moy.
We're the fourth.
Aaron Moy, and then he scores a goal.
The only thing that annoyed, the
I
reason
still do
why I
that.
got annoyed was is obviously I'm going to have to see. I can't get one for this. But you know what, Rafa? Obviously, working very hard.
Is it wrong that I'm quite aroused by that?
It's quite good.
It's a vibrating noise, isn't it?
I've seen that there's been a lot of things on Twitter the last few days more than ever. I'm only popping on every now and again, in case you missed it, you know that bit.
Yeah.
And my God, it's always a fan saying, "I can't believe that this dickhead's wanting Rafa out." And so has it been that bad in regards to
Yes.
this Rafa out? Is it? Well, okay, so it has.
Has
Say
it?
that.
I
Because
haven't seen many.
it. I haven't seen it either.
I've not seen many Rafa out, but I've seen quite a lot of, because I follow thousands of people.
The criticism rewards.
I've seen a lot of criticism. I've seen a lot of just blind rage. What it feels like, just people reacting, just kicking back. Do you know what I mean? Because things are not going our way. I haven't seen an awful lot of people asking for his head. I don't think people are that daft.
Definitely not.
There is some people who'll say it for reactions. Do you know what I mean? There's one or two people on Twitter who
don't get many interaction
who've
with
got an
people.
agenda. Who've got an agenda who are like, I want him out. So they're trying to stoke up a bit of a bit of conversation or whatever.
Yeah.
And those people are just shouting into a vacuum anyway. Just let them crack on. You know what I mean? But I think there is a lot of times where I'm seeing him criticised for things which are not necessarily his fault, because people need an outlet to just lash out at. Do you know what I mean? And it's unfortunate. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, we love a scapegoat. We absolutely love them because it gives you somewhere to point your frustration. And if people are going to start having to go at the manager, then fair enough. But if
have you criticised any of his things?
Yeah. There's times when
Is my list getting longer? I don't want him out at all.
I don't want him
The
out.
list's getting longer. It's getting
I
longer.
don't want him out. I know what he's like. he's going to hold grudges against players if they don't do what he asks them to. So
he keeps playing Diame.
I know.
Well, that's what I know. But it's because he does what he wants him to do.
He's probably doing what he's being told. Which, like, well,
he's not doing it very well, but that's why Perez was in the team week in, week out.
I think he's. I didn't mean that. Well, I'll be honest. Sometimes, and I really do mean this, and somebody said it. I don't know who it was. There was someone put it on, and he got grief for it, like some presenter or some whatever. I'm a little bit annoyed with these press conferences a little bit in regards to how he doesn't really sort of back up the players, and he seems a little bit negative towards what he's got, and we are where we are because of what we've got. And that has to feed down to the dressing room. And if I was a player, I'd be going, fuck me, he doesn't believe in me.
Would you not prefer it though if we've been shit for him to just come out and go, we've been shit?
Yeah, but he doesn't say that though. He doesn't.
That's what I mean. I would rather he did that.
He sits on the fence a lot, doesn't he?
He'll come out. He'll say we worked hard. We did this. We did that.
We work hard.
You know, we work hard.
That's all he says. Work hard.
Yeah, quality, club, all that sort of shit. But I think he's trying to play the long game with it. I think he's basically saying, in not as many words, I need help here.
He's trying to force Ashley's
hand.
I'm
on the bones of my arse with this squad. If I can't get anything, I don't think he can get anything more with that squad, and I don't think that's his fault. I think it's because the players are not good enough.
See, that's where I have to disagree a little bit, is because someone had put a stat on saying, for the manager that he is, I think we've played Huddersfield, Brighton, Bournemouth, Palace. There was loads of games at Watford. We haven't gotten a single point. I'll be honest with you and say that I honestly thought we'd at least draw one of them games.
Yeah, those are the games.
Well, I think everybody would say that though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you're saying that you don't think you can get any better out of what we've got. No, I honestly believe I thought we'd win one of them games. Like
I think when I say I don't think you can get any better out of what we've got, I mean I think there's a lot of players there who've plateaued with how good they are. They're not going to be improved by coaching. That people like Shelby, he's not. I don't think he's going to progress anymore. I think that's the top of his game now. So is he good enough for the Premier League?
I'd probably say no. I think he's an average player.
Then you've got younger players, people like Lascelles, who I think undeniably he's got better.
Yeah, of course he has. Of course he has.
I love him.
We've said that.
So unless you've got a team full of that, you're going to struggle.
But Clark's
30-year-old, not going to get better.
I think Clark's been back over. God.
But Clark's kind of gone back to the form that he had when he was at Villa.
Yeah.
But then do you again? I certainly don't want to sound negative towards Rafa, but for me, I would expect him to be able to get that extra 10% out of everybody constantly and be able to motivate them better. Because to me, I watched them at one game and I think, right, we've got a full week's training here and I reckon he's going to put this right. And I watch them the next week and it's the same mistakes I see, or it's the same performance I see.
That's fair enough.
Expect more. I just think he could maybe get more out of them.
That's fair enough. I mean, you know for a fact that he's training and he's coaching and everything that he does during the week, the preparation is meticulous.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. If you've got players who don't follow it, or you've got players who are playing under a crisis of confidence or are not doing what you're asking them to do, or they're making mistakes, because everyone can
mistakes
make
mistakes are different. I agree.
Everyone can make mistakes. Mistakes are a human thing. I think he knows what he needs and he knows what he wants, and at the minute he hasn't got it, so he's finding it hard to be able to kind of put his stamp on things. His thing is all about players with intelligence. He likes players that have football and intelligence. I don't think we've got an awful lot of those type of footballers in our squad.
We've got plenty without.
I think, well, football intelligence or just intelligence in general. I don't think we've got many of that. But I think he needs
Dutch players.
If he had players that, I know people are saying, well, he signed him and he signed him and he signed him, but you can only sign what you've got the money available to you to sign. And people go, why did he spend 40 million quid on Jacob Murphy or 12 million quid?
Don't get him started.
But that might
don't get him started.
He had offered to him at the time. Do you know what I mean? He's getting money fed through to him in drips and drabs from above.
My opinions change on. I was the first to say, why do you want to spend 12 on him when you've had no money left? The bottom line of the whole story is he was lied to. He's been completely cheated. He's been dealt a shorthand, and I'm 100% on Rafa's side. And I 100% want Rafa to be here for years to come. I do. I just honestly believe that we are better. We have better players. So we have a squad that is better than not to get a single point out of 24. That's just what I honestly.
The thing is, they hit the nail on the head. It's not that we're playing poorly or we're throwing games away through individual mistakes. If you watch Rafa on the touchline during the game, he is constantly talking, constantly shouting, constantly organising.
Yeah. He's very.
It just doesn't. It's not getting through. He's always onto them, organising, talking. Even when, just after we score goals, not that it happens very often, but he's getting them across and talking to them, reorganising them.
Right, I have noticed
Even from a goal kick and a free kick, he's making sure that they're in the right places. But
Steven Gerrard,
they've got to respond to that, and he can only do so much standing on that touchline. If those players don't listen and don't follow those instructions and make these stupid individual mistakes, there's not a thing he can do about it.
What we're seeing a lot more now on the touchline is what I call the fuck it refa, where he just seems like he looks at the game and someone makes a decision, he just goes.
Yeah, he does that.
You can see he's getting. You see time after time he gets frustrated because he's given them clear instructions. He's telling them what to do, and he's even came out and said it after the games in his post-match interviews of that. Things have happened that that players aren't doing what they've been told to do, or they're making silly mistakes. They're switching off. They're not concentrating. And you cannot hold him responsible for that.
No, you're probably right, and I definitely love Rafa, and I really do actually. I just sometimes do criticise his squad choices. Remember, not in the squad.
We all do. It doesn't mean you can't have an opinion.
This comes back to his thing about holding grudges against players who haven't done a job for him in the past. The Mbemba thing harks back to however many months ago when he put him in and he had a shit game and he didn't do what he was told.
Wolves at home was the last time.
I can't remember what it was, but it's a long time ago. But the Mitrovic thing's the same. He put him in a game in the Championship when Dwight Gale was injured and he did nothing. He didn't shake a leg for the whole game. He stood up front, put his arms out like that every time the ball didn't come to him, and he didn't do a thing, and we lost the game at home. I can't remember who it was, the game, but that was what it was, and he held a grudge against him from then on. But if he gives him another chance and he doesn't do it again, then he thinks, well, why am I fucking bothering? You know what I mean? Just get on the bench, or don't even go on the bench. Just
didn't even make it.
Just piss off. Do you know what I mean? So I think if we had the players who could implement what he wants to do, I think it would be totally different. I think we're lacking a lot of football and intelligence in that team. There's not a lot.
Did you read Hayden's? That was a great thing from Hayden about when he first met Rafa, and he had says that he got him in the hotel and he moved. He says so he set up the salt and pepper and he was like, so where would you go? And he went, that's typical English answer, that you should really go here. Fantastic.
I've experienced it myself. Me and Bestie experienced it when we went over at the training ground. We sat there. He used a chair. He put a chair in front of him and said, defending a corner, where would you stand? And it was like, well, stand there, goal side. Aye, but would your shoulders be like that? Or would they be like that? And we were like, oh, fucking, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? My shoulders would be like that. But he went, if you turn there, you're already on the half turn. If the ball goes over your head, you're already facing the right way to go for the ball. And it was little tiny details like that. And I think is the difference. I think the downfall can sometimes be that he gets too caught up in those.
Has he told this to the players?
This is the coaching stuff that he's doing. From what I saw, was like, it was so meticulous. It was like, right, start, right, stop. You move there, you do that, you stand that way, you do this. Right, start, right, stop.
That's the type. That's how I would be. I'll be honest.
And it was trying to micromanage everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of coach he is.
It's similar. I don't know if you've seen the video of Pep when he did it with Sterling. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And he's saying you should be standing.
He's dead animated and all that.
And he actually scored the goal.
He did it the next week.
That he told him to do, and obviously it worked perfectly in that instance. But
he did the same with Nathan Redmond the other week, didn't he? When he was having to go at him for being negative and playing defensively when. And that's not even one of his own players.
Yeah. That's just Pep, isn't it? Just where he is, isn't it? But I do agree completely that Rafa is so intelligent, knows the game better than any of us. There's no doubt about that. There's honestly not. And
he knows it better than fucking Richard Keys.
Oh, absolutely, of course he does that. Yeah.
Hairy prick.
I just hope. I really hope that that it doesn't go so tits up that we'll lose them all together. Do you know what I mean? I hope that this takeover does happen, or whatever's going to happen.
Talk about the takeover. Shall we jump into the questions?
Oh yeah.
Since we've gone over an hour again.
Alex Barron.
Just do you want to pull another cracker? Right, Rob Fish. Do you think the longer Mike Ashley plays
Plays? I fucking hope he doesn't do it. Jesus Christ.
I can't. It's because I've been fucking 4 pints in when I'm starting reading these, man. Do you think
salt and pepper here? There you go.
Do you think the longer Mike Ashley plays hardball with PCP, the more chance the takeover won't happen? And is it affecting morale at the club?
We touched on that last week.
I think
didn't
it's massively.
Presume he's talking about PCP, the company, and not Angel Dust, the drug PCP.
well.
Do you think it's effect? Because we've spoke now for 2 hours, right, about Everton performance, Arsenal performance, fucking training methods and that. We've never once says that the takeover's affecting them.
we talked about last week.
Maybe last week, but not the day we haven't. And I don't think it's affecting anyone. Honestly,
I think it's affecting ref.
I think
Is
it
is that affecting Darlow to drop the ball? Like,
It's
it's
uncertainty, isn't it? It's,
I don't.
it's uncertainty. It's got to be nagging away at the back of people's minds. It's nagging away at the back of our minds because you just want to know what's going on one way or
I
another.
think about man at least 5 times a day.
When you're in the bath.
I think Rafa will be in the bath as well.
I still
can't
say it. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is you see about her. Like,
oh, but I like that.
Stop slating that because she might listen. Stop it.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
If she doesn't take over, it'll be your fault. Because you're being nasty to her.
I'm telling you, man.
Don't even say it.
She's got too much testosterone.
You'll be gutted if she's watching this and she thinks, yeah, fuck this. I'm like,
I love her, mate.
I'm more interested in her business acumen rather than her.
Fuck me. Fucking his podcast, he's fucking ended any takeover. I believe
What's
Miller.
your thoughts on it? Because obviously
the takeover.
What
I think, well, we're desperate for it, aren't we? But I think it's. I don't know if it's having an effect on the pitch because I think they're professional enough that when the whistle goes across the line, then it's the last thing they'll be thinking about.
Absolutely.
I don't think it'll affect them on that level. I think maybe it's affecting them in the preparation running up to games. I think it's probably affecting them in the media circus around the match day thing where you've got journalists asking you about it all the time. And Hayden said something today which got fucking blown into millions of fucking pieces about, oh, this club can't realise its potential under Mike Ashley, it's desperate for a takeover and all that. He didn't actually say that. What he said was the club can't realise its potential under Mike Ashley, not because he doesn't want to, because he can't afford to.
Yeah, which
is the full quote.
We said that last week, didn't we?
So,
but the first quote makes him. The first quote makes him appear that he's having a right go at Ashley. But if you listen to the full quote, it's a bit different.
Yeah, but it was instantly reported by the Chronicle as Hayden speaks out against Ashley.
Click here.
Whatever. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember what it was. But
Fill this
survey
in
before you can read the article. No.
Send us a selfie.
So yeah, I think.
Don't be slagging them too much.
I worry about how long this goes on, and I worry about him being a fucking numpty because you know what he's like. He's not one to kind of forget stuff, and he'll just kind of if something doesn't take his fancy, he'll go, nah, fuck it, I'm done, and his toys will go out the pram, and that'll be the end of it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's always been my fear.
These people are not. These are serious people.
These aren't fucking stupid.
These are serious people with serious money. And if he fucks these about, they'll just go. Do you know what? We'll go and buy. We can go and buy somebody else.
We'll go and buy Burnley. There,
buy Aston Villa. We'll go and buy someone else. Do you know what I mean? They'll take that money elsewhere.
Yeah,
so he has to realise that if he gets this wrong, he fucks this club completely. Now, whether he cares about that or not, I don't know.
He's stuck with the club if this doesn't go through.
Whether he cares about it or not, I don't know. But if we get relegated again, what happens?
We've always said he's a very clever businessman, and this is the time I'll judge him if he's clever or not. Because if he doesn't sell us, then he's a fool. He's an absolute fool if he doesn't sell us now. He's almost doubling his money, pretty much. And now they may be banging about this relegation clause, which
you know he's a gambler as well, isn't he?
But maybe, is he? Because as you've said, if this doesn't go ahead, we're going to go down. Let's be fair, we probably are. And then he's never, if he does get
unless he puts the money in,
it's going to be for literally buttons compared to what he's been offered now.
This offer hasn't come back.
Never in a million years.
Right, the battery's dying, so we've got as usual.
I've got 48 years here in me.
We'll end it on this one. Sorry, Daryl, you've sent a question in, but we haven't got time. Calvo sends
you're going to have Daryl's question. We'll be hell on if we do.
Right, okay. The return of Lascelles has seen a massive improvement in us defensively, with only 2 goals conceded since his return from injury. Would you agree this shows how important he is to us? And are you having a party when the club is sold?
I said that champagne is immediately on tap.
Jelly and ice cream.
We said with Lascelles that we were missing any kind of organisation and leadership on the pitch. The shape of midfield, the defence has been all over the place. There's been nobody there to grab it by the scruff of the neck and punt and get people organised of where they should be and what they should be doing.
He's the second most important man at the club. That's the best I can say about him.
I think aerially as well. I think he's what he can do in the air. When the ball's in the air, he always seems to be able to header it.
Always.
And I think Clark
He's
gets
a
feet in
threat
the
up
air.
at the other side
Lejeune
as
seems
well.
to be jumping with fucking divers boots on at the minute for some reason.
How does he keep scoring these days? It's a different argument.
Right.
Yeah, I mean we haven't gone into that. I don't know if we've got time to, but he's
Should be dropped there.
he needs to not
give him
play.
time.
But
Yeah, absolutely.
Kieran Clark's injured though, isn't he? Is he injured, Kieran Clark?
I didn't think so.
Has he been on the bench?
I don't remember how long they said this, but I know we're going back over here.
Right, we'll be here forever. We'll stop mentioning defence. Right, Calvo sends in, if the lads did an nativity scene, who would play what? Jesus would definitely play Jesus. No, I think we're talking about players.
The lads.
Jesus would be Jesus.
All the lads.
He'll be injured.
Oh no, Shelby could play Jesus because he's bald.
Because Jesus was classically bald.
Well, in the nativity he's
Oh,
bald.
the
isn't he?
baby Jesus.
Aye,
We'd have to bring Anita back. He could fit in perfectly, couldn't he? 'Cause he's like about the right size.
true.
He's got a big arse on him though. He might not.
You know what we're going to struggle
Oh, he
with?
wouldn't need
We're
a
going to
nappy
struggle
on,
with
would
the three wise men. To be
No, we
fair.
haven't got.
Because
we haven't
Shelby's
got
not
one.
making that.
No.
Emiro's not making
Elliot's
that.
quite intelligent.
Elliot, Rafa,
Elliot,
Lascelles.
Elliot, Rafa and Lascelles are three wise men.
Hayden as well is quite well spoken.
Who?
Hayden.
Right.
You've got to have one of them's got to be
Well
black.
spoken young
Who's
man.
going to be the star? Marino.
That's
That's
he's
a
good
star
in,
for
isn't
me.
He is good in, like.
Who's going to be the donkey?
Yes.
You know me.
Aye, do you know what I mean? Aye.
Perez.
Aye.
Someone had to say it. We got anything else? Who we're missing?
Mother Mary and Joseph.
Joseph. Who's Joseph?
The
Surely
dad-
Rafa's
the
going
father
to be
figure.
Joseph.
Father figure.
Rafa's got to be Joseph.
I haven't thought about it with that much detail.
That mad fucker who sits next to him on the bench with the glasses and the crazy face.
Oh,
yeah, Ghostbusters.
Aye.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Egon Spengler.
Aye, that's him, aye.
He can be Mary.
Every set piece he's like this. Every set piece.
No, actually, I reckon Javier Manquillo is probably virgin, so he can be Mary.
The innkeeper. Who would be the innkeeper?
Who'll be the what?
The innkeeper.
The
Not
I'll go this far in the Germany.
Not Darwin.
Rob
Surely.
Elliott.
Predictions for thingy Saturday.
Predictions for Saturday, West Ham.
West
West Ham away, I'll go 1-1 draw.
1-0 defeat.
I think we'll win.
Happy days.
I'm feeling confident.
Good.
I think we'll draw.
Right. So this is my last podcast of 2017.
Oh, is it?
We're going to have a few weeks off. Aye.
Oh.
Aye. We'll enjoy Christmas.
Aye.
We won't.
We'll get Christmas and New Year break. Come back in the New
Hope
Year.
Santa's good to you all.
And I think when we come back, all of this is going to be different. Meatro's going because he's not going to be here after January.
It's just be bloody refurbished. 5 weeks.
No, not the pub. Like
Oh,
the
the studio, the setup, right?
The setup.
I hope we get a visit.
You went like this?
of Amanda Claus. That's what
Aye.
that's what I'm
Amanda's
hoping for.
pouring some money in. So, what?
No,
Whoa.
nothing. I'm not going.
So I think we need a new
The
backdrop.
bulging sack, by any chance?
Because that was disgusting. That one.
Sorry.
Aye. So
What are you going to have on your picture?
the picture's going and it's.
Oh, don't give it too much away.
Aye. It's
Peter
going to be.
Beardsley.
It's top secret.
I've got a PRBSE flag.
If she buys her, there's only
Her?
one thing.
Her?
going
Just
on.
her?
If she takes our, my bed covers, the
Nah.
lot.
We'll
The
be
whole
what-
lot.
We'll be in what state?
Mate, I do not want to see your bed covers.
Oh, man, that's a love it when she comes
Right,
in from
well-
work to be Amanda on my bed.
Still not having this.
Hammer in the morning.
I'd just like to say a
I
massive
told you it
thank.
wouldn't be done by Christmas, didn't I?
It's not Christmas yet, mate.
Fuck it. Hey, it's what, 4 days away or something? What day is it, dear? Tuesday?
You should ask that then.
Stop trying to remind us.
I wish you'd take that fucking pump off.
I've got
Aye,
five mates. I'm blowing
Sounds like he's
myself.
got a fucking vibrator in his pocket, didn't he? But a massive thank you to Morgan's Bar, who's let me use this function room
Thank you, Morgan.
all season. Thank you, Morgan. Aye. There was going to change the name to Sir Bobby.
She's
Yes,
in.
Bobby.
Really?
That tried me hard to say.
Well, Katie say no.
No, it was Terry and Kath at the time.
Oh, right.
Katie's in tonight.
She's in right now.
Massive thank you to Stephen at International Glass Consultants.
How are the glass?
Oh, in the glass.
Got him in
I
the
love how
tagline
we're
and
the glass.
everything.
I love it. I love it.
Ingenious, was
And
it?
next season, we've got an additional sponsor.
Next
We've got
season?
Well, no.
You mean next year?
Aye, we've got a half-season sponsor.
Wow. It's like a half season
The
ticket.
difficult thing is, it's an Italian branded name.
Ciao.
It's not called Ciao.
Well, that was. Well, no, I was just practicing my Italian.
It's called Guglielmo.
Bolognese.
It's called Guglielmo.
Lasagna.
You gonna let us finish?
No.
It's called Guglielmo Clothing UK.
Guglielmo.
Guglielmo, aye.
Guglielmo.
That's exactly it.
You gotta get the pronunciation in
Let's
there.
hope he's not watching.
All listening. Guglielmo.
Guglielmo.
It's actually pronounced Guillermo, but there you go.
Well, I've been sent a transcript and apparently it's Guillermo.
I hope we sign him in January.
You're going to get up front.
He's a great striker. 30 goals a season.
So we'll get Guillermo up front.
Guglielmo. You've changed his name now.
Guillermo?
Guillermo.
Why does he keep doing this? Guillermo.
Because that's Italian. That's how you speak Italian. You've got to go like that.
Guillermo's a
Guillermo.
episode of Sesame Street. I don't want to say it.
Where's the Cookie Monster?
Oh. What can you think Elmo's spunk is?
Hey, man.
Grazie.
No hesitation.
You've thought about that before, haven't you?
What do you mean think I know?
What? Right. So,
Table leg.
that's it.
Yeah, thank you
Enjoy
very
Christmas.
much.
Enjoy New Year.
Yep. See you next year. See what I did there?
Does anyone want to pull a cracker?
Hey!
Mine!
And on that bombshell, adios. Ciao!
Did you win?
Yeah.
What did you win?
That was literally...